Kranthi Bathini, who's the equity strategist at WealthMills Securities, joining in this morning. Great to have you on the show, Kranthi. Let's talk about the semiconductor theme. This is an emerging theme, and lots of these companies like Vedanta and Tata's, they are eyeing a foray into this space, right? Even L&T, in fact, has announced a foray into chip design very recently. But yesterday, we saw CG Power, the Murugappa Group company, announcing its a foray into this particular space. And, of course, CG Power surged somewhere around 20%, and Cube Investment, which has a 58% stake in CG Power, also saw a great up move. Now, as I mentioned, the company has, plans to foray into the semiconductor space. It has applied for the subsidy, for the same. And, if you look at the, kind of partnership that it is looking for, the tech partnership, if that fructifies, do you think this could be one of the best plays when it comes to this particular theme? Or do you think valuations are already stretched when you look at a CG Power, given the fact that it has surged multi-fold over the last 3 to 4 years? It is already a multi-bagger. So if somebody wants to play this particular theme, the semiconductor theme, would you look at a CG Power vis-a-vis Vedanta, because Vedanta is still scooting for a tech partner for the same?
Absolutely, Nandita. Nandita, thanks for inviting me on your show. Good morning to all the viewers. You're absolutely correct. There was a lot of exuberance in this space with respect to the semiconductor space is concerned and the chip space is concerned. But as you rightly mentioned, CG Power has rallied and it's a multi-bagger for the investors in the past 3-4 years. Right now, the stock with respect to the existing businesses are concerned, it is fully priced in. But given the kind of heightened activity with respect to the power segment business is concerned, the company have much more legs to follow in the coming next few quarters. But with respect to the new foray into the chip making business is concerned, which the company made a disclosure yesterday, and it witnessed a complete surge during the trading day. But Nandita, it is completely premature at this point of time, because the semiconductor business is a complex and highly sophisticated technology, and it have a different supply chain, and the production chain is concerned. Now coming to the CG Power and the companies which are you mentioned, like Vedanta and L&T, which have high aspirations to get into these kind of business segment, the highly sophisticated chip making industry is concerned. They are primarily into the chip designing segment is concerned at this point of time, but it's a long way to go because of the complexity of the nature of chip making is concerned and the technology is concerned. Right now, the entire industry is concentrated with a few players in the market globally, like Taiwan, Intel, and majority is focused with respect to the 3 global players right now. But the Indian companies' aspiration to get into this chip making is we can conceive we are at a very inception, and we are at a baby steps. There are every long journey starts with a few baby steps only. So we are at the baby steps right now. We need to see how the things are going to evolve for a period of time. It is we are at a preliminary stage right now. The things are in the paper only. Now it has to transform into the action right now, and which has to transform in terms of the cash flows for a period of time. At this point of time, investor, there's no need to get into it. Of course, it's a big news at this point of time, but we need to see how the things are going to evolve over a period of time.
You mentioned, of course, that, companies are getting into chip design and not manufacturing, as manufacturing would be a highly capital intensive, space to get into, right? So in that sense, do you think that it will turn out to be a big opportunity, chip design and not manufacturing? Because, of course, L&T, during its earnings has announced that it is foraying into the same, right? But in absence of any pure play semiconductor player at the current juncture, among the rest of the lot, which stock would you suggest investors look at to play this theme?
You are absolutely correct, Nandita. As chip manufacturing is a very highly sophisticated and complex technology, and it's also highly capital intensive. Indians, we are good at designing, okay, and our capabilities and our capex can be can be suitable for the chip designing is concerned at a preliminary stage. So the companies like L&T can be a suitable candidate for the investors who are looking to have their footprints with respect to their the chip industry is concerned, and also CG Power, which is comes from the Murugappa group, and they come up with the current proposal. But there is no need to hurry, jump and buy these stocks, only considering into the semiconductor industry into concern. Okay, one need to wait and watch how things are evolving, and take steps and accumulate these stocks in a very staggered manner with respect to the semiconductor theme is concerned at this point of time, Nandita.
Right. With respect to Vedanta, of course, it is still looking for a tech partner for, its semiconductor foray, right? But what are your thoughts on this particular stock post the demerger announcement that we saw a few months ago?
Yeah. Nandita, Vedanta is concerned, there are we have some resistance with respect to their corporate governance and also the looming debt on their balance sheet. And the company come up with a statement few months back that they are going to foray into the semiconductor space is concerned. But again, they mentioned that it's not from the Vedanta, it is coming up with a unlisted entity from the group of Vedanta. So these kind of complex issues are there with respect to their corporate governance. So we are not in a hurry to buy Vedanta at this point of time, despite of the announcements that they made with respect to the demergers are concerned. One need to wait and watch how they are going to manage the upcoming debt issues are concerned, and with respect to the foraying into semiconductor space, how exactly they're getting the tech partner with respect to the semiconductor foray, and also whether it's really going to benefit the shareholders of Vedanta or not is the concern for the investors at this point of time. With Vedanta is concerned as a semiconductor play is concerned, Nandita.
All right, that's a cautious view coming in on Vedanta. But let me ask you a last question very quickly. We are running out of time. I want to ask you about the recent IPO wave and particularly Honasa Consumer. Of course, there were concerns around its valuations when, the IPO had come out. But ever since it got the, vote of endorsement from the likes of Jefferies, the stock has seen a good run. And yesterday it came out with its second quarter numbers as well. Numbers are pretty decent. The profits, of course, have nearly doubled on a YY basis on the back of low base. But do you think now the valuations are justified, especially since it has not really been able to crack that brand loyalty, that these brands really, capitalize on?
Nandita, a couple of days back, I went to a store and checking their product in the counters, and I am asking how their products are doing. As a disclosure, we don't own any of this stock, but just the keen interest of their products. When India is in the league of the disposable incomes are going up at this point of time, and it's a very young nation, and people are more interested in these kind of products, even though despite of the valuations look stretched. In the coming few quarters, we need to keenly observe how the sales are going to be sustained and how the revenues are going to be sustained. But it's a stock to be on the investors' watch list, and one can add at dips whenever there is a dip in the market. Investors with a long-term horizon, with a high risk appetite, one can add these kind of stocks in their portfolio, because these products looks promising over a period of time, and India as a young nation, there will be always space for these kind of products at this point of time, Nandita. There is no need to hurry, buy and go and jump and buy these stocks. One need to track keenly the sales numbers and the cash flows, how they are going to. The valuations looks stretched at this point of time, but these are not the stocks to ignore from the investors' radar.
All right, that's the view. One should not hurry or jump into this stock, but of course, watch out for how things pan out. With that, Kranthi, thanks a lot for taking out time and joining in this morning. It was a pleasure chatting with you. But with that.